Hello! I just had to make a really quick video. I know I'm due for a video today. It's been about 2 days. I guess I shouldn't push it, but still, I had to make a video. As you can see, I made a few changes. My beard is gone. There's other changes. I'm trying to transition from my job to my business. The weather is changing. The winter is kind of coming to a close. It's approaching February. This winter hasn't been very snowy. Today the weather was around 60, I believe 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is great for window cleaning. I actually had one job yesterday from a previous customer, and today there was somebody called me, and then they got my business card, and so they called me and they said that I came and knocked on their door in October and gave them a price of $200 for cleaning inside and out for the windows, which I think they misunderstood, because $200 is not a lot of money, and for cleaning inside and out. Luckily, the house that I cleaned today only had like 38 panes total, so it didn't take a long time. I started at 9 a.m. and I was done 2:30. So for cleaning the windows outside and inside for 38 panes, it took me 5.5 hours, which is pretty short. Yesterday I cleaned the outside only for a two-story, it's a one-story house with a walkout basement, and that one had 40 window panes that needed cleaning. There were more, but they didn't want those cleaned. And for the cleaning on the outside, it took me 6 hours to clean just the outside, and today it took me only 5.5 hours to clean outside and inside, which is, I don't know, weird. But, and I made more money today than I did yesterday. Well, I did get tipped yesterday, so roughly the same amount. So he said that I'd given him a business card on October, and I gave him a quote for $200 for inside and out, and I showed him my price chart. Said that for the number of windows that he has in his house, a one-time clean is $349, and that's only for the outside. And he said he wanted the inside done as well, and I said for the inside I charge about the same price, so it would be $700 inside and out. He said that's too much, I'm just gonna do it myself, never mind. So, and then I was like, okay, but if you want to do the inside and outside, I can give you a discount today. So why don't we just do the inside and outside for? So first I was gonna give him I gave him over the phone, I gave him a price of $299 for the windows, but I didn't think he was talking about inside and out. So I gave him $299 for the windows. The $299 is for the biannual price, for the number of window panes that he has for the biannual. So I didn't know he wanted a biannual option plan. So I just gave him that. But the single one-time clean would have been more than that. So I said, let's just do $349 for inside and out, and that's what I did today. So there's some changes. I still had the beard when I did clean the windows, and the reason why I shaved my beard, or I removed my beard, is because I'm going to be going door to door And if I'm gonna go door to door, I don't want anybody to think that I'm a homeless guy knocking on their door, because nobody wants to buy anything from a homeless person. So I shaved my beard to look more professional. I'm gonna be smiling, and the smile. Honestly, look, I know it's like more manly to have a beard, but with the beard, it's hard to see a smile. Yes, you can still see a smile with a beard, but without a beard, the smile is just a radiant smile, you know. So a smile is everything in door-to-door sales. So the reason why I removed my beard is so I can have a more radiant smile door-to-door, and I don't look like a bum. Reason number 2. I love my job. 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 This is a great day. I love my job. I love my job. This is a great day. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. 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 This is a great day. I love my job. I love my job. This is a great day. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. This is the greatest day of my life. I love my job. 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 Hello. It's way overdue to make a video. I've been really busy. As you can see, there's been a lot of changes that I've had to deal with, and I'm transitioning into my business once again this year. Very difficult transition this time. Also, I got this book in the mail, Zehassis Fari, by engineer Fenkel Tesfa Mariam. It's this guy. and he's also a movie actor. The movie he acts on is about love, and yeah, I'm excited to read it. It's gonna take me forever because it's in Tigrinya. So yeah, and I'm practicing my pitch as well. I have to know my pitch from my heart. Like, it has to be smooth, nice. I'm trying to smile more often, a genuine smile, so that I can give the vibe of like positivity. Um, and I'm trying to hire people to do the window cleaning for me so I can just focus on door knocking. So a bunch of changes going on, and yeah, as if it wasn't, as if I didn't have like difficulties before. Now it's like into the ocean, dive into the ocean. Seems like, but it's now beginning. It's approaching March and approaching spring, so it should be more busy. I'm also looking to go back into Sales Rabbit for door to door, because that's how I started initially with Sales Rabbit. It has more information, so I can filter out the I can see the rating for the homeowner so that I can know which homeowner is more likely to buy my services, and also like I can kind of see which area is better to focus on, because there's also the rating for the area, the neighborhood, which neighborhood is better to focus on, and so I can put my time more, make my time more effective. That's what I used before, and but right now I'm using Redfin to like filter the homes that I would like to target. Like before, for the longest time, like I've been using Redfin, and as a replacement, it's not comparable, and also like Redfin is not for door knocking, it's just for real estate. So once I use Redfin, then I go to my CRM with GPS, and it has GPS, and I can track which doors I'm knocking with my CRM. But the CRM doesn't have a information for the homeowners and the data. So now I'm going to go back to my Sales Rabbit, start focusing more on likely buyers, and the thing is that instead of a CRM, I'm gonna stop using the CRM, because yeah, the thing that the CRM does is it helps me with customer information, which I can keep the customer information on Wave, which is the accounting or bookkeeping software that I use. And it helps me with taking payment. I can also take payment through Wave as well. It helps me with customer information, taking payment, and I don't actually know what else. Yeah, just customer information, taking payment. It also has GPS, or map tracking, which is great. But instead of that, I would just use Sales Rabbit. I have a hope that I can connect Sales Rabbit to Wave, and so that all the data, like customer data, would go directly, once they convert, go directly to Wave. If that were possible, then basically it would not make sense not to use Sales Rabbit. So I I want to say like it shouldn't be scary to go into the business, because last year I made more money in the business than I did with my job at Amazon. I did have two jobs, so um, but so like if for the for 6 months that I did the two jobs, I made less money than I did in the business, which also I did that one for 6 months. Uh, and it's not like the business, like I was just me, and so I didn't have a full schedule like every day. Sometimes there would be a week or so where there's no job, no sale. So I can definitely grow in the business, but even if I were not at my top notch in the business, I would still be making more money than the job. And the job is strenuous, and so I should be glad to transition, but still nerve-wracking. I'm not looking to quit. I just want to reduce. Like I just want to come in like late, and then once my UPT runs out, then they'll just get rid of me. That's what I'm thinking, instead of just quitting. And yeah, I'm not gonna go to work till like 5 p.m. So when I'm gonna be heading to work. So I have all the way till 5 p.m. to work on the business, to knock doors, uh, hire people, and things like that. Probably I have about a week or two, maybe more, before I get terminated. So if you watched up to this point, thank you so much. I love you. And remember to do the hard thing, especially when you don't feel like it.